1 equals 5. Can you guys tell me what our constants are? 1 and 5. Exactly, because these are numbers that are by themselves, unchanging, right? So there's not a variable like x or y in front of it. Perfect. Okay. The next step is isolate. Good job, isolate. So now that we've identified our constants, we want to isolate them away from the rest of the equation, or away from our x, so that way we can solve for it. Now, this is probably the most confusing part, but now that we have found our constants, we're going to find the constant that is still attached to the x, right? We want that x to be by itself. We don't want anything around it. So we want to move it to the other side. In this case, we have 2x minus 1. So we want to get this one out of the way, right? We want to move it to the other side of the equal sign, okay? Now, is this one positive or negative? Negative. Right. So when we move it out of the way, we want to do the opposite function to it, okay? So if this is a negative 1, then to get it out of that side of the equation, we can add 1. Because if you have negative 1 and you add 1, what do you get? 0. Good job, yeah. Because if you have negative 1 plus 1, 0. So then we'll have no constants on that side of the equation. So now that we've added 1, remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other, right? So if we've added 1 to this side, then we have to add it to the side with the 5 on the other side, the equal side. So then we come up with 2x equals 6, right? Because our 1 was added to our 5. Does that make sense? Yes. Perfect. Okay. Now our next step is divide. Perfect. Okay. So what we want to do is, now that we just have our x on one side and our constants on the other side, we want to divide by the coefficient of x. Now if you're wondering what a coefficient is a value that's in front of our variable, right? In this case, we want x to be by itself. So we want that coefficient to be gone from the equation. In this case, our coefficient is 2, right? Because 2x equals 6. So in order to get that 2 out of the way, we want to divide by 2. Now again, remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. So if we're dividing by 2x on this side, we're going to divide by 2 on the other side as well. So 2x divided by 2 equals 6 divided by 2. Does that make sense? Yes. Perfect. All right. Now, equals. This is now pretty much our last step of the equation. Because after we've divided by the coefficient of 2, we have 2x over 2 equals 6 over 2. Now we have finally gotten x by itself, right? We have x equals 3. That's the answer. Do you guys understand how we got there? Yes. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Now what's the last step? Rejoice. Rejoice, exactly. And we're going to repeat. So anytime you're trying to solve a multi-step problem in math, always remember side